And there we go. Welcome, synthesizers. Let me see who we've got in the chat. Say hello if you're here. We've got Ryan, Jonas, Ayush, Donald. Oh my God. Pharaoh, Haran, Jan, Toby, Martina. What is going on? There's thousands of you. What is up, synthesizers? This is absolutely insane. And welcome to everybody. And thank you so much for showing up. Today, we are going to be discussing a new update to the great online game that is just on the horizon. Maybe a week away, maybe 2 weeks away. It's close, it's here, and you will be the first people to find out about this. And this new update is going to unlock a brand new way to monetize, brand new. And this call is call 1 out of 4 of a free cohort-based course that I'll be running called the High Ticket Synthesizer Accelerator. This right here is call 1 out of 4. It's all going to be free. And this cohort is designed for employees, students, beginner creators who want to make between $3,000 and $10,000 a month so they can go full-time doing what they love. And everybody who just shows up to all 4 of these calls will get my monetization protocol course, which is normally reserved exclusively for creators with 100,000 subscribers. This is true, only for creators with 100,000 subscribers. But anybody who just shows up to these 4 calls will get this entire course for free. And a disclaimer, this cohort is not for the lazy. You will have to work harder than you have ever worked before. It is not for the fixed mindset. You will have to listen closely and be open to new ideas. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting the same results that you've been getting. An open mind is needed. And it is definitely not for the undedicated. No one is coming to save you. Your future is entirely on your shoulders. The career that you have, the job that you have, what you do for your living is on your shoulders. Nobody's coming to save you. It's all on you. So this is only for the dedicated. It's not for the lazy. It's not for the fixed mindset. It's definitely not for the undedicated. But this is the fastest way that I am aware of from going from 0 to full-time doing what you love. And I know this works because I've only shared this with one person. And that one person that I shared this with went from government welfare benefits to $6,700 in a month, just 6 months later, after the first time I told him this. And 12 months after I told him this, he added $36,024 in monthly recurring revenue, not once-off, recurring revenue to his business in 30 days. This guy was Zane Meyer. It was a funny story. He messaged me from Synthesizer School. He was in Synthesizer School, just like you guys. And he messaged me and he asked to get on a call with me. And normally I say, no, I'm busy. But for some reason, I could tell he was dedicated. So I hopped on a call with him. I laid out exactly what I'll be sharing with you on this call. He was dedicated. He worked insanely hard. He implemented it. And his entire life transformed. And that's the only person that I've told this to. And the results have been insane. And this worked for me. For those who don't know, I made 10K a month in 6 businesses. I made 100K a month in 3 businesses. I reached financial freedom age 22. And this is my pinned tweet showing some of the other stuff that I've done, from helping Hamza go from $20,000 a month to $200,000 a month in 10 days, helping Rian Doris go from 0 to 100,000 YouTube subs in 6 months, helping MrBeast beat procrastination, as well as a bunch of other different things that I've done. And I state this because the internet is a crazy place. How do you know who to listen to? Hopefully my credibility is enough to show that I may have 1 or 2 lessons to share. But not only that, I run 2 communities that are focused on helping beginners go full-time online. The first one is the Synthesizer School that has 10,000 members. The second one is the Skool Games, a community with myself, Alex Hormozi, and Sam Ovens that has 14,000 members. And having access to so much data helps me spot patterns. It's pretty clear to me what works and what doesn't work, what makes money and what doesn't make money. And what I'm about to share with you in this video is one of those patterns that I've spotted, that when people implement, there's a high percentage chance of them making a good amount of money. But it's one of those things that not enough people are talking about. Now, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this for free? Well, I work at Skool, and Skool's mission is to help 1 billion people find community and to help 1 million people earn a full-time income doing what they love. And that second part of the equation really resonates with me, because as somebody who went from not having a full-time income to somebody that had a full-time income doing what I love, the transformation between those two things is honestly crazy. Like, I can't imagine a reality now where I was working in a job that I didn't like. And that fills me with so much gratitude that, of course, I want to help other people do the same. It's like, what did I do to deserve this, where I'm able to make a honestly stupid amount of money, doing what gives me purpose, doing what I love? Why do I get that, but other people don't? It feels weird. So I just want to help as many other people get a similar situation to the situation that I have. And like I said, the second part resonates with me. I can't imagine a life not doing what I love now. Working with people that I look up to and that I learn a lot from, as well as this is my Airbnb screenshot where you can see I have full freedom to go wherever I want to in this world, which is such a privilege that it's worth mentioning that this does exist. It is possible. You can see Manhattan Beach, which is in LA, Escazú, which is in Costa Rica, Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, Malibu, LA, Marina del Rey, another part of LA, Nice, south of France, Barraquedis, south of France, Dubai, Whittington. Oh, that's a beautiful part of the English countryside. Medellin, which is in Colombia, which is honestly surprisingly beautiful. LA again, Vegas, Bali, Lisbon, Portugal, Harvard, Dubrovnik, Toronto, all of these places. So grateful because of the internet and because of a lot of these things that I'll be sharing with you today. Who's ready for me to begin? Let me see it in the chat. I am not going to begin until I see a lot of people. Me. I need more. We're in a pantomime, guys. More. Oh, wow. That is lively. Let's get into it. All right, let me paint a picture of the current online business landscape. First of all, there's so much information on monetization, but there's no clear path to follow. I do not understand this. There is so much noise. There are so many different ways for people to start generating an income online that it's almost impossible to figure out, what should I do? There's just so much going on. You'd think now, 2024, we would have figured this out. There should just be a clear path for people to follow. There is a clear path, just people don't know about it yet. Second of all, many people think that they need to build an audience to monetize. They need to create content. They need to wait 6 months. They need to wait a year, and then they'll figure out monetization. The next thing, people are concerned they're not good enough. Maybe they aren't good enough. Maybe they're not an expert yet. And that's a big concern. It's like, how do I make money if I'm not great at anything yet? I'm just a beginner. What should I do? And it's frustrating knowing that it's possible to go full-time online. This is the worst bit. The fact that you know that it's possible, and you know it's possible because there's been other people around you in a similar life situation to you that have made $10,000 a month, made $100,000 a month, and they had nothing that you don't have. So you know that it's possible. There's nothing in physics that's stopping you from going full-time, doing what you love. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself. And that's painful. It's great on the one hand because you know you can do it. It's painful because you're not there yet. Working a job you don't like, failing to make it work, it's painful. And I know this because I was there a few years ago. It literally feels like physical pain. It's so difficult because everyone's doubting you. You're weird to the people around you. And there's no guarantee that it'll ever work. It's like, that's a suffering sandwich if I've ever heard one. It really, really, really is painful. And there are 4 main ways that people are currently trying to monetize. I know this because I asked you guys, how are you trying to monetize? And this is what you said. The first one is content, building an audience. The second one is community, paid communities, low ticket school communities, courses, that sort of stuff. The third one is coaching. And the fourth one is services. So let's examine each of these different things and then figure out what is the fastest way for you to monetize. This is the best use of your time if you're just getting started, because the path that you take is the highest leverage decision. The path you take, the vehicle you go in, is so much more important than the decisions that you'll make on the day-to-day. This is the first thing that you need to think about. And if you're on the wrong path, you can waste months. You can literally waste years doing the wrong thing. Whereas if you can get yourself on the right path, that's the fast track. And that's what we're going to be discussing in this call. So let's go over content. Who here is trying to build an audience and then monetize? I'll bring it up in the chat. Who here is trying to create content and one day figure out the monetization? We've got a lot of people trying to figure out monetization through the content vehicle. Tons of people. All right, let's analyze this. Well, when I started making content, I made content for over a year and I made $0. And this was the period where I doubted everything. There is literally voice notes that I've sent to the mentor that I had at the time saying things like, there's no way I'm going to do this. It's not possible. There's no way I can do it. Maybe it's possible for other people, but for me, there's not a chance. And the problem with content, or one of the problems, is that you commit to months or years with no guarantee of ever getting the results that you want to get. So many people spend months creating content and they either don't build the audience that they want to build, or they do build the audience they want to build, but then they can't figure out monetization. There's the balloons. I know so many people that have built the audience, but can't monetize it. It is absolutely insane. Just because you have an audience does not mean you can figure out monetization. And building an audience takes months, if not years, to do. I've seen many people try, but few succeed. Because first, it's hard and slow to build an audience. It's tough. It takes years. And even then, it's not guaranteed. And second, even if you do build the right audience, it's normally hard to monetize unless done right. Again, this is the broke influencer syndrome. 90% of influencers that you think make a lot of money don't, because they haven't built the right audience. They haven't figured out monetization. So all of this is to say that it takes months or years to make money with content, whether there's other ways that would take weeks or months. So to be clear, if I was to go back, I would not have created a single piece of content until I figured out how to monetize. And once I had the monetization vehicle in place, sure, create content, because now when you do get 10 views, 100 views, 1,000 views, you direct it towards the monetization vehicle. Now you're not creating content with the hope of making money in the future. You're creating content so that you can monetize. If you're playing a part-time game, if you have a job or you're a student, you're not fully all in, you're part-time. How on earth are you going to compete with the people that are full-time? You can't compete with the people that are full-time when you're part-time, which means you need to play short-term games before you can play long-term games. You need to figure out monetization so that you can go full-time, so that then you can play the long-term game of building a massive audience and really, really, really going for the big bucks. If I was to go full-time online, I would not focus on creating content first. Is there any questions on this? Is there any doubts, any hesitations? What about, oh, but this is something like, what about this? Any questions? Rex says, got it, thanks. John Felice says, makes sense. Anna Poom says, how to build authority. Great question. We will be covering that in a sec. Matisse says, on what would you focus? We will also be covering that in a sec. Haddad said, I agree with this. I created content for months. Sounds reasonable, Philippe says. If I were not to make content, what should I do to make money? All right, it seems like we're all pretty on board with this. Shouldn't you post something to build a little momentum? We'll cover the best way to get momentum in just a second. Okay, I'm pretty sure that we're all on board. Where does traffic come from? We will also cover that in a second. No views, no credibility. We will cover how to get credibility in just a second. Where do you monetize? All right, I'm pretty sure that we're all on board. All right, let's continue. Paid, community, and courses. This is the second way that people are trying to monetize. Let's again analyze if this is the optimal path, and then we will continue. Who here is trying to monetize through some sort of a paid community, selling some kind of a course? We have Gavin, we have Aiden, we have Kevin, we have Michael, Hichem, test user, we have Madge, we have Will. All right, lots of people are trying to monetize through a paid community. Cool, let's analyze this and see if this is the best path. Is this the fastest path? I've already asked you the question. Let's analyze whether this is the fastest path. We can analyze using the monetization vehicle framework. This is a framework that I've used time and time and time again to build those 10K a month or 100K a month businesses that I referred to earlier. There's 4 different ways in the synthesizer space, in the online education space, in the info space to monetize. The first one is do-it-yourself courses. Do-it-yourself means if somebody buys a course, they have to watch the videos themselves, and then they have to implement all of the things themselves. Do it yourself. Done with you group coaching. This means that you do some of the work, you coach people how to get the result, and they do some of the work done with you. And this is in a group coaching format. So this is a paid community. This is a cohort-based course. This is where you do it with people in a group format. The third one is done with you in a one-on-one format. You do some of the work, they do some of the work, it's done with you, but you do it privately. You speak to them one-on-one over Zoom or through text or whatever. It's in a one-on-one format over a period of time. And the fourth one is done for you. This is where you do the work for them. This is a service. This is an agency. These are the 4 different ways that synthesizers and creators can monetize their business. And if we look at these different things, we'll see that some of them are more scalable than others. You'll see that do-it-yourself courses are the most scalable. 1 million people can go through a course in 24 hours, and there's no problem at all. The course will be completely fine. Whereas if 1 million people want to do a done-for-you service where you have to do work for them, that's going to be trouble. That is the least scalable option. So you may be thinking, and you may be hearing this, and you may be saying, well, then I want to do the most scalable option. I want to make courses or paid communities, which are the 2 most scalable options. And that would be kind of sensible, but these up here are the hardest to sell. Courses and paid communities are the hardest to sell because all of the work has to be done by the person buying the product, meaning they have to go through the pain, they have to go through the effort, they have to go through the sacrifice in order to get the result, which means it's less valuable, which means it's harder to sell. Whereas if you do something for someone, they don't have to do the work, which means it's far easier to sell. It's far more valuable because they get more value without so much of the pain. More valuable, therefore easier to sell. And do-it-yourself courses and paid communities are hard to sell, especially if you're a beginner, especially if you're just getting started. But alas, this is what I tried to do when I was getting started. After I focused for ages on building an audience, I tried to sell a course and I made $200 in a year. Hip, hip, hooray. This was the course that I had. It was called Kirby Vision. It helped people set their goals and define their future vision. This is what I was focused on back in the time. And yeah, it spent a lot of time trying to make this work and a lot of time failing. So it was tough. The problem with paid communities and courses is that it's too hard for beginners to get to 10K a month. They're just not attractive enough because the buyer has to do all of the work. Your problem isn't scalability, it's that no one wants to buy your stuff. Fair enough. If you have a 1 million subscriber audience, you don't want to be doing done-for-you services with people. You'll run out of time really quickly. You need a more scalable delivery mechanism. Who cares that it's harder to sell? You have enough people wanting to buy your stuff anyway. Just do the course, do the paid community, and you'll make a lot of money. But if you're a beginner and you don't have a 1 million subscriber audience, your problem isn't that there's so many people wanting to work with you that you don't have the time to deliver. Your problem is that there's not enough people that want to buy your stuff. You have a demand problem, not a service problem. So focus on resolving the demand bottleneck by selling a product that's easier to sell, which is one-on-one coaching and services. So if we look here, do-it-yourself courses and paid communities are the hardest to sell. The easiest thing to sell is one-on-one coaching or done-for-you services. If you're a beginner who's trying to make their first $1,000 a month, $3,000, $10,000 a month, focus on the easier things to sell. And then when you get to that mark, sure, switch to a more scalable delivery mechanism to scale from $10,000 a month up to $100,000 a month. But if you're on 0 or close to 0, focus on the easiest thing to sell and then worry about switching later. And it's proof that this is the easiest thing to sell because look at how many people in the world are selling courses or paid communities. There's probably a few thousand, maybe 50,000. I've got no idea, a few thousand. How many people in the world are selling done-for-you services? 3.5 billion. That's because everybody that has a job has a done-for-you service. That's what a job is. And imagine you're an accountant and you say to your boss, I'm not going to do accounting anymore. I'm going to create a course that you can buy that teaches you how I do my accounting. The boss is going to be like, I don't want this. Do the work. I want you to be an accountant. And that proves how much harder it is to sell courses and paid communities compared to services. So start here. Start with done for you services or done with you one-on-one coaching. And ideally you start with done for you, and you only do one-on-one coaching if you physically can't do done for you. For example, when I started doing one-on-one coaching, I helped people beat procrastination. I can't stop somebody from beating procrastination. So the best that I could do, the easiest thing that I could sell was one-on-one coaching. If you help people beat porn addiction, you can't do that for them. You can't stop them from fapping. What you can do, and the best thing that you have, is to do one-on-one coaching. And as soon as I switched to one-on-one coaching, I made $67,241 within 3 months. Insane. You'll see in this payment processor, it's more like 61. There was another payment processor, PayPal, which makes up the rest. But you'll see in some weeks, I was doing over $10,000 a week. And this was the $200 down here that I was making from selling courses. It's such an easier thing to sell. So to recap, creating content for a year, $0. Paid community and courses for a year, $214. Switching to one-on-one coaching in 3 months, I made $67,000. And if I could go back, I would have not done this. I would have not created content. I would have not focused on building a paid community or a course. I would have just focused on one-on-one coaching and services, and just focused on targeting the specific amount of people that I believe would pay me for those services or that coaching. So to be clear, the fastest way for you to get to $3,000 to $10,000 a month is to charge for a service or be a one-on-one coach if you can't do that service. Any questions? Let's see if there's any questions, or any doubts, or any skepticism, because we all have to move as a community. So let's make sure we are all on the same page. Okay, what was your offer? My offer was helping people beat procrastination. It was just 6 one-on-one calls with me, 1 per week. Totally understood and agree, says Haddad. Why would people ever buy for you with one-on-one coaching? Well, because you promise to solve a problem that they have or deliver a goal that they have, and you demonstrate that you're capable of doing that through some of the things that I'm about to talk about. But one-on-one coaching is to help people solve their problems and reach their desires. All right, let's see how to find our service or thing we want to coach. I will be covering that in just a second. How do you get clients? I'll be covering that in just a second. So is there any doubts or skepticism around selling done for you services or one-on-one coaching compared to selling paid communities or courses or creating content? That's the question, to be more specific. A lot of people are asking how to generate leads, how to get good. We'll cover that. But I'm trying to make sure we're all on board with the vehicle of done for you services and one-on-one coaching. What's an example of a done for you service? Well, you could make thumbnails for somebody. You could do video editing for somebody. You could take someone's YouTube video and you could repackage it and turn it into Twitter threads. There's loads of different done for you services. It just depends who you're targeting. And all of those examples I gave are ones that I know have made lots of money. Okay, I have no credibility to sell one-on-one. I will cover that. Just added one-on-one coaching to my profile. Nice, I got it, says Donald. Lovely stuff. How to get good credibility? All right, it seems like we're all on board. We're just trying to ask the questions that are coming up in just a second. Damn, this chat is going absolutely wild. All right. Somebody says, how about group coaching? Again, group coaching is just harder to sell than one-on-one coaching because it's less valuable, because people get less one-on-one contact with you. If you have a big audience, sure, do group coaching, do cohort-based courses, launch a paid community. But if you don't, then why are you worried about scalability when the problem is that nobody wants to buy what you have? Solve that problem, make the thing that you have more valuable, and then switch to a more scalable delivery mechanism. All right, looks like we're all on board. So now we have the vehicle. We still need to learn how to drive. Has anyone here tried and failed to sell services or one-on-one coaching? And I know from reading the chat there, the answer is yes. A lot of you guys are saying things like, how do I get credibility? How do I find clients? I've tried this before and it's not working. I've tried to make websites before. Yes, I was struggling to get leads. Hey, Haddad said I closed my first sales call on editing. That's great. So I know the answer to this question, so I will just continue. The problem with selling a service or one-on-one coaching is fourfold. First of all, you get ignored. You create content, you reach out to people, nobody listens to you. Second of all, no one trusts you. If you do reach out to someone and they do see you, somebody does see your service or your coaching, they don't believe that you can deliver the service that you have, so nobody trusts you. Third problem, you're not an expert yet. You're not great at something yet, so you don't feel confident to charge somebody for this thing. And I can sort of understand that. Fourth one, there's no easy way to sell the one-on-one coaching or the services. You need multiple different tech pieces. It gets kind of complicated very quickly. These are the four problems. If only there was a way to quickly get attention, build trust, build expertise, and have an easy way to sell. How much easier would it be for you to go full-time if you had attention, trust, expertise, and an easy way to sell? If you had those things, do you believe, this is a question for the chat, do you believe that you could make good money if you had attention, you had trust, you had expertise, and you had an easy way to sell? Of course, yes, 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 absolutely, yes, 100%. Cool. All right. So it's clear. The problem that we need to solve for is, how do you get attention, build trust, build expertise, and have an easy way to sell? Well, thanks to an upcoming update, brand new update from Skool, there is now a great way to get attention, build trust, build expertise, and sell services or coaching for the first time ever. I've been talking about a new update for quite a while that I've been so excited about, and this is it. A new update that will allow you to get attention, build trust, build expertise, and sell services or coaching in an easy way. You can see now why I've been so excited and wanted to get as many of you guys on this call as humanly possible. Who wants me to reveal what it is? Chat, go crazy. Chat, go wild. This is too much fun. All right, let's do this. Let's share it. We're about to do it. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
That's where having one-time purchases, which is rolling out honestly really soon within Skool. So rather than build anything, I would say like wait like a couple weeks and it'll probably be there. That way you can offset. So this will help so many of you guys.
One more time.
That's where having one-time purchases, which is rolling out honestly really soon within Skool. So rather than build anything, I would say like wait like a couple weeks and it'll probably be there. That way you can offset. So this will help so many of you guys.
One-time purchases. But you're like, what? Why is this so revolutionary? I don't understand. How does that unlock the best path to make $3,000 to $10,000 a month? Well, let me explain. I said earlier, if only there was a way to quickly get attention, build trust, and build expertise, and have an easy way to sell. And you all said if you had those things, then you would be able to go full-time doing what you love. So let's focus on the first three, the things that are bolded: getting attention, building trust, and building expertise. Well, when I wanted to get attention, build trust, and build expertise in a new niche, what did I do? A while ago, I helped Hamza go from $20,000 a month to $200,000 a month. And I thought, well, that was quite a good thing. He wrote me a handwritten letter and I was like, that was good. I should probably do more of that. I should probably find more big creators that have an audience and help them monetize. But then I was like, but I don't have an audience of big creators. They don't trust me. They don't know me. Many of them had never heard of my name. How am I going to get their attention? How am I going to build their trust? How am I going to build their expertise in a brand new niche when I'm just getting started in this niche? Well, what did I do? The very first thing that I did was I went and I created a free Skool community. It was called Creator Monetization. I made it exclusively for big creators, and that was it. I got 400 people inside of this community, all of them that had 100,000 subscribers. And that was the vehicle that I used to get their attention, to build their trust, and to build my expertise in the niche. And it worked. I ended up partnering with loads of big creators with tens of millions of subscribers and made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. Brand new niche. I created a free Skool community and it helped me get attention, build trust, and build expertise. And that's the answer. Start a free Skool community. And you're like, but this isn't new. What about this new update? Don't worry, I'll get onto it in just a second. Why start a free Skool community? Well, it solves the 4 biggest problems that beginners have. First of all, it's an easy way to get attention. If you reach out to someone and you say, hey, buy my stuff, you get ignored. You probably get blocked. You probably get put in spam. If you reach out to someone, you say, hey, I've got a free Skool community. It's got this cool thing in it that you may like. Check it out. A larger percentage, you have to agree, a larger percentage of them will be interested in the free thing compared to the paid thing. So it's a much easier way for you to get attention if you have something free to give people instead of asking straight away for money. It's the ultimate lead magnet. It's what I did in a brand new niche to get attention. Also, it positions you as an authority. If you've created a Skool community around thumbnails, as soon as somebody sees that you've started a Skool community about thumbnails, you're automatically positioned as an authority. There's you, which is the creator of the group, and then there's the members. The creator of the group is obviously positioned as the authority compared to the members of the group. So when I used to meet a creator in real life, where I would reach out to them, I'd say, hey, my name's Andrew Kirby. I'm the founder of Creator Monetization Community. It's a free Skool community that helps creators with 100,000 subscribers monetize their audience. And they're like, ooh, he has a community that helps people like me get the goal that I want to have. He must be good at this thing. Even if I wasn't good at it, simply because I was the founder of a community that is for them, that solves their problem, I was immediately positioned as the expert. I was positioned as the authority. The third problem is that many beginners aren't an expert. Well, the great thing about the free Skool community is it allows you to become the expert. If you start a free Skool community and you're okay at the skill, just keep helping people for free, keep building your skills, keep getting better at the craft until you become the expert. So if you're not an expert, a free Skool community helps you become an expert as quickly as humanly possible because there's real life people in there that you help. And by helping, by teaching, you become an expert, you be the best student. So by having a free Skool community, if you're not an expert, this is the quickest path to become an expert so that you can charge people for your stuff. And also, as a beginner, you don't know what it is to sell. If you just start a free Skool community, all it has to be around is an area that you're interested in. You don't need to know anymore. It can just be 4 synthesizers or 4 educational content creators or 4 consultants or 4 video editors or 4 people that have a porn addiction. That's all you need to know. You need to know one thing you're interested in. And then by bringing the people together, and don't worry, I'll show you how to bring the people inside of the community in a second, you figure out what problems they have and what you can sell. Just by bringing people together, you speak with them and they tell you. They tell you. So if you don't know what you want to sell, a free Skool community helps you figure out what it is that you want to sell. So many beginners, they don't have attention. Free Skool community is the best way that I know to solve that. Many beginners, they don't have authority. They're not an expert. Starting a free Skool community positions you as an expert. They're small balloons. Many beginners aren't that good at what they have to do, but starting a free Skool community allows you to become good at what you have to do as quickly as humanly possible. And many beginners don't know what to sell, but again, a free Skool community can help you figure out what to sell. And those are the 3 problems at getting attention, getting trust, and building expertise. That is how a free Skool community solves those things. But again, you're wondering, what about this new update? And what about having an easy way to sell? Well, a free Skool community, the new update, this new monetization vehicle that Skool is creating, is the ability to have a one-time sale of a service or a coaching inside of your community. So normally at the moment, to monetize on Skool, you have a free Skool community, and then you build a second Skool community. I've spoken with thousands of people on Skool, and many of the people that make $50,000 a month or $10,000 a month on Skool, they have 2 communities: free community, paid community. Free community because it's the easiest way to get attention, easiest way to build authority, easiest way to become an expert. And then they sell them into a second community. That's the monetization vehicle. But now you just need one. And now, not only can you do it all within one Skool community, you can also sell services or coaching, which, as we've discussed, are the easiest things to sell. The easiest path to get to $5,000 a month is selling these services or these coaching just one time. With the two communities, the paid community is recurring, which again is harder to sell because it's monthly payments. With this, it's just one time. You sell a one-time service or a one-time coaching. And that's what I did to get to that $67,000 in 3-month mark that I talked about. It's just a one-time payment, the easiest thing to sell. So now we'll see if we go to the problems. A free school community is the best way to get attention, best way to build trust, best way to build expertise. And now there is a new, easiest way to sell people from that school community into this one-time service or coaching. So what ends up happening is this is the model. This is the model to get to $10,000 a month. You get traffic on the left, which we'll be covering in detail over the next 3 weeks. Starting off with warm outreach, you reach out to the people you know. Content is another way to do it. Cold outreach is another way to do it, or a group strategy is a great way to do it. We'll be covering all of these things. You get traffic, and it's far easier to do because you have a free school community. You direct people to the free school community. You build a relationship with every single person inside of your free school community by speaking with them on a phone call. And then when the time is right, when you know what to sell, when you are an authority, when you are an expert, you sell $500 to $1,000 services or coaching. This is it. It's super simple. This does work. And if you can get 10 free members in your group, that'll roughly equate to one sale of a $999 service. If you can get 100 free members in your group, which I will show you step-by-step how to do, that'll roughly equate to 10 sales of a $999 service, which is that $10,000 a month mark that we have discussed. This is the model. It doesn't get easier than this. It doesn't get simpler than this. And it doesn't get quicker than this. Because if you were to ignore this stuff, what most people do is they just focus on content. They don't have a monetization vehicle. They're like, oh, I'll figure out monetization later. 6 months down the road, 1 year down the road, monetization still isn't happening. Whereas this, you build the monetization vehicle first. And now every single eyeball you get turns into money in a week, in a month, instead of in years in the future. And not only that, this is the best way to make the course. You do done for you, and then you systemize what you do. Once you do a lot of done for you work for someone, you'll know what to do. You'll know the process you follow. You get the process you follow, you put it into videos, and then that's a course. That's the best course because you know that it works. Or if you do one-on-one coaching, when you find yourself repeating the same thing again and again and again to the people, because you've done it so many times, you just take what you're saying one-on-one and you put it into a course. And that's how you create an incredible course. That's what I did. And then when you run out of time, you start creating more scalable solutions. Then you can scale this up to $30,000 or $100,000 a month. So when I was doing that one-on-one coaching very quickly, I was like, I've got no time. You know, I'm spending all my time on the phone coaching these people. There were so many people that wanted what I had because I figured out the easiest way to sell something that when I had that problem, then I switched to a more scalable solution. I recorded what I was saying on the one-on-one calls and I put it in a course and I started doing group coaching instead. That allowed me to scale up from $30,000, $20,000 a month mark up to $100,000 a month. But I only did that when there was so much demand for what I had to sell that I didn't have time anymore. And chances are that's not where you are at. So this is the new fastest way to go from $0 to $3,000 to $10,000 a month. This right here, traffic, free school, get on the call, sell services or one-on-one coaching. And this is exactly what Zane did. When I got on the call with him, I told him, start a free school community about something you're interested in or a problem that you've solved. Reach out to every single person that joins, build a relationship with them, and then get on a call with them, and then sell them one-on-one coaching for $999. That's what he did. And that is what allowed him to make $7,600 just 6 months after I spoke with him. And it could have been a lot compressed if he had this cohort. And then a year later, adding $36,000 to his business simply from doing this. Free school community that allows you to get attention, positions you as the expert, and gives you a breeding ground to become an expert, sold over the phone, which I'll teach you how to do, and then one-on-one coaching, which I'll also teach you how to do, was the model that he implemented, and it absolutely crushed it. I call this the high-ticket synthesizer. This is the model. This is what's been missing from Synthesizer, Skool, and this can work for you. And over the next 3 weeks, I will teach you how to decide what your group topic should be about, how to get dozens of members, how to add value, even if you're not an expert, and how to sell the services or coaching. I'll give you the script to follow. I'll teach you how to deliver the results. I'll teach you how to decide what your group should be about. I'll teach you how to get your members in the group. And I know how to do this because I've been inside of the Skool Games, which has been teaching this for the past 6 months. And I've had a lot of data seeing what works and what doesn't work. I'm going to press it all down to you so that you can start generating an income using this model, which I believe is the fastest model. Are you in? That's the question. Dylan says yes. Ren says yes. Ryan says yes. Anastasia, yes. Jov, yes. Eric, LFG. Madge, yeah, baby. Charan, in. Luke, yes, sir. Sebastian, yes, in. And there's literally 99 plus messages that I will scroll through. Ali, Rex, Joseph, Helene, AJ, Bruno, Elizabeth, Anupam, Enrique, Ennis, Josh, Daniel, Ian, Josh, Chris, Jeremy, Jam, Cindy, and there's still 99. This is absolutely wild. LFG, still going, yes, 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 yes. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's continue on with the action items. It's going to be 3 action items. The first one is to add next week's call to your calendar. It's a nice and simple one. Go to Synthesizer Skool, click on calendar, click here, add to calendar, add it to your calendar so that you make sure that you don't miss it. It's going to be 4 weeks. And remember, every single person that shows up will get the free bonus of the monetization protocol, which is normally exclusively for creators with 100,000 subscribers. That's the first action item. Go and add this into your calendar. The second action item is to start a free trial to Skool. So if you go to thegreatonlinegame.com, I'll put the link in the chat, greatonlinegame.com, you'll be able to start a free trial for Skool. There's the clickable link. You will get, when you start this free trial, all of the tools that you need to go full time. You'll have your free Skool community, and you'll have the ability, when it is released, to have the one-time payments feature. But you will also get a weekly Q&A call with myself and Alex Hormozi as part of the Skool Games, which everybody that right now starts a free trial to Skool will get access to using the link that I gave. If you go in the calendar here, you'll see there's a weekly Q&A call with myself and Alex Hormozi. The first one is later today. It's in 5 hours time. So anybody that signs up will get free access to this community. You will also get a full course from Alex Hormozi on how to decide what your group is about. If I go to the Skool Games and I click on Classroom, you'll see there's a full course here walking through how to decide what your group is about, how to get your first few members, all of those questions that you guys asked. Your free trial will get you access to this free course as well. It will also get 20 interviews that I did with all of the Skool Games winners. So for those who don't know, this is the Skool Games community. Every month there's a competition to see who can grow their Skool business the most. This is June. Jamie has added 30,000 in new monthly recurring revenue in 17 days since the start of this month. And every single month there is a massive leaderboard, 115,000 new monthly recurring revenue. 10th place added 41,000 new monthly recurring revenue. You'll see all of these different people that are all crushing it using this technique that I'm talking about here, getting crazy amounts of results. And this is every single month we do this. And every single month, people are making tens of thousands of dollars a month. And what I did for the first 2 months of the Skool Games was I interviewed every single person that's on this leaderboard. I interviewed them all and I asked them, how are you making money? And most of these people didn't start with an audience. Some of them did. You may recognize some names like Hamza, but most of these people didn't start with an audience. So if you go to the Skool Games, once you've started the free trial, you go to podcast, you'll scroll through and you'll see many different of the podcasts that I did with these different creators. Here's one that I did with Eddie Abu's team. Here's how another guy that won without an audience. I did one with Max Persson. I did one with MrBeast. All of these different people, you'll see my winner interviews with them. There's the one with Hamza. Anybody that gets a free trial gets access to that too, as well as monthly mastermind recordings that I do with Hormozi and Sam Ovens. So you'll see the one-day recordings here. Anybody who gets 3 members in their group and likes all of these which basically walks through everything you need to know to get the $10,000 a month mark. Most masterminds like this would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but when you go to greatonlinegame.com and you start a free trial, you get access to that too. And finally, you'll continue to get access to this free cohort with myself over the next 3-4 weeks, where I'll walk you through everything that you need to actually get this model up and running. Now, most of the time, you know that value stack that marketers do where they're like, how much is this worth? Well, we know this is worth $99 a month. That's how much Skool costs. The weekly Q&A with me on Hormozi, how much is that worth? $1,000 a month? $5,000? $10,000 a month? The free full course from Hormozi, maybe that's worth $1,000. 20 interviews, maybe another $1,000. Anyway, it's clear this is worth well over $10,000. But at the Great Online Game, you can start a free trial and get access to all of this for 14 days. Now, if I go back into the presentation, we'll see that the average monthly recurring revenue of a paid group is $13,060, which is 13.7x return on investment. So just the average monthly recurring revenue of a paid Skool group is $1,360 per month, which is 13.7 times what they're paying. So you put in $1, you get $13.7 back. You put in $1,000, you get $13,000 back. That's the average, meaning 50% obviously make far more than that amount. And Jade Gemma said, it just dawned on me what we're actually getting as I watched. Sam Ovens, Andrew Kirby, and Alex Hormozi are essentially our monthly mastermind mentors, as well as the communities that we're creating. So with this link, greatonlinegame.com, you get access to your Skool community. That's everything you need to get to $10,000 a month, as well as all of the stuff that I've just mentioned. And anyone who creates their group during this call and drops the link in the chat, I will promote your group to the Synthesizer Skool to help you get your first few members. So go through the process. You go to greatonlinegame.com. You'll click Start Free at the bottom. You'll then create a group. And if you don't know what to call your group, just call it your name, like Andrew's group. We'll get on to what to make your group about and what to name it later. Just do this quickly now. And anybody who drops the link in the chat, I will be exporting this text and I'll be promoting your communities inside of the Synthesizer Skool, which is over 10,000 members, to help you get your first few members. I truly believe this is the model. You can have a 14-day free trial. It's then $99 a month. But the return on investment that you'll get from that $99 a month, 13.7x is the average. And I believe with this cohort, we'll be able to get you a lot further. Now, there may be some of you saying, I can't afford $99 a month. Well, there's a very simple exercise. It takes between 5 to 10 minutes that we'll be covering in the upcoming days that will show you how to basically make Skool free. And I'll show you this tomorrow or in the next couple of days as a post inside of the Synthesizer Skool. And if it doesn't work out, you can always cancel it. It's a free trial. That's what it's for. But if you can't afford it, I would recommend you start the free trial now anyway. I'll show you how to make it practically free. And then if it doesn't work out, you can always cancel it later. But if you start the free trial now and you put the link in the chat, then you will still be able to get promoted to the Synthesizer Skool. So that's the second action item. Start the Skool free trial now. Post the URL of your Skool community inside of the chat. And the third action item is to download the Skool app and turn on Synthesizer Skool notifications. These next 4 weeks, like I said, I'm going to be running a free cohort. It's going to be $0. That's going to teach you everything that you need to know to take this Skool community that you've just created, decide what it's about, get your first few members in it, how to sell the people from free into your service, what you should sell, how to figure out what you should sell, the script you should say on the calls. I'll be teaching all of it to you for free. But in order to actually listen to what I have to say, you need to be able to receive the information. And the best way I know to do that is just to make sure your notifications are on for Synthesizer Skool. If you go to Skool and you go to my profile, just make sure you're following me. That way you'll get a notification when I post something. And then just make sure, just find a way to get the material. What I'm giving you is a free cohort-based course to get to $10,000 a month. All I'm asking for in return is to make sure that your notifications are turned on, right? Hopefully that sounds fair and hopefully that makes sense. Now, with that being said, I would love to do some Q&A. I would love to just get straight into the coaching. Again, it's greatonlinegame.com if you want to start. And I would love to do some coaching now. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat. If you have any hesitation or anything you're concerned about or anything you're not sure about, then ask it in the chat and I will start helping you for free now. Alex says, should free group be private or public? I would recommend for most people your group to be private. That way you create an about page that sells the group, and I'll be teaching you how to do this, but I would recommend for most people to start private for their group. Viral asks, how do I get inbound clients as a consultant on LinkedIn? Now, I'm not 100% sure about the technique on LinkedIn, but what I can teach you how to do is get your first members and your first few clients using Twitter, using YouTube, using warm outreach, which is people that you already know, using the group strategy, which is a really effective strategy. That's what Zane did, which is basically you find a group that has the sort of people that you believe will be interested in your services. You become the most valuable person in that group, and then people will find your community because it'll be linked in your bio, or you can build a relationship with them over chat. It's a really effective strategy. It's actually how I got my first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I did the group strategy on Reddit. I got involved in the Stoicism subreddit. I became one of the most valuable people on that subreddit. And then many people found out about my YouTube channel and the stuff that I had. It's also how Hamza got started. I think this is how Hamza made his first $1,000. He was in my subreddit and he was spamming his Skillshare dopamine detoxing course. So Hamza made his monetization vehicle and he joined this group and he did the group strategy. So that's a really effective strategy that we'll be teaching over the next couple of weeks. Xander asked, where are the interviews? You can find them by going to the Skool Games. You click on podcast, and then you'll just scroll through here. You'll see that there's 3 different pages, so there's not too many. And all of the ones that say winner interview, or that's probably actually the easier way. If you just type in winner interview, then you'll see all of the different winner interviews that I did, from people that didn't have an audience, from people that did have an audience, from teaching you how to build, how to go viral, build your audience, Denmo, Hamza, how this guy went from weed dealer to $70,000 a month, MrBeast. That's how you'll find it. Just type winner interview. Jonah says, by service, do you mean I can sell a digital product in my free Skool community? Now, like I mentioned, the problem with a digital product like a course is it's hard to sell. The reason it's hard to sell is because all of the work has to be done by the person that buys the course and goes through the course, which means that it's less valuable. So as a beginner, it's harder to sell digital products like courses. So what I would do is, inside of your Skool community, you have the one-time purchase that's for a done-for-you service or one-on-one coaching. And then when somebody buys that thing, you get in contact and you deliver the service, or you deliver the group, or you deliver the one-on-one coaching. So when somebody buys through the one-time payment inside of the classroom of your free Skool community, then you deliver the one-on-one coaching or the done-for-you service. Chris says, when do you switch from free to paid community based on your model? Okay, so you switch from a free group to a paid group when a couple things happen. First of all, there'll be so many people that want your one-on-one coaching or your done-for-you service that you no longer have time to deliver it to them. You're so busy. Then what you do to solve the bottleneck is you take what you've been saying in your one-on-one coaching or what you've been doing in your done-for-you service, you record it into a course, which means that other people can consume the course and do what you normally do for the done-for-you service or what you normally teach in the one-on-one coaching, and they can do it themselves. So when you find yourself repeating yourself on your one-on-one coaching, or you find yourself doing the same thing again and again and again for your done-for-you service, and there's so many people that want to work with you that you no longer have capacity to deliver it, then you switch to a paid community, which is basically switching from one-on-one coaching or done-for-you service to group coaching, which is what a paid community is, group coaching and course. You have a course and you do group coaching inside of the paid community, and you only switch when those things happen. Pranab says, how to drive people into your community. This is going to be a big focus of ours. We'll be covering it a lot in the next few weeks. I covered some of the ways to do it. The easiest way to do it, the way that I would start, which again, I'll be going into much more detail in over the next few days, is I would go through everyone in your contacts. I would go through everyone you've ever emailed. I would go through everyone you've ever DM'd on Skool. I would go through anyone who's on your Facebook friends list. I would go through anyone who's on your Instagram follower list, anyone who's in your LinkedIn requests. You probably already have a list of 1,000 people who already like you, know you, and trust you. And at least 5 of them, 10 of them will get inside of your community. And if you can just get 5 people inside of your community, there's money in those 5 people. It may take a month or 2 months for you to build a relationship, build a goodwill, become an expert, figure out what to sell. But if you can just get a few people inside of your community, you have succeeded. So the goal of this cohort is just for you to get the first few people inside of your community, and there is money inside of those people. So you can do that warm outreach. That's the first thing that I would recommend. Then I would post on your social medias, advertising the community, and we can talk a little bit about the launch strategy. Even if you only have a couple hundred members, if you can just get, like I said, 5 people to join your group, there's money within those 5 people. So that's something I would highly recommend you do. It just takes a couple minutes to make a post on your social medias. Even if you have a tiny audience, it gets quite a few people inside of your community. That's the second thing I would do. And then you can decide to either create content on Twitter or YouTube is what I would recommend, or you can do this group strategy that I will talk about and get members that way, or you can do cold outreach and you can reach out to people that don't know you. And again, don't worry about this. We will cover all of this in the upcoming cohort, but there is ways for you to get people inside of your community if you are a beginner. There is ways for you to get to the 100 member mark, the 200 member mark, and we'll be teaching you inside of that community. Next question. Ricky says, I make multiple 6 figures every year without any A-star grades. I can teach people how to get on the career ladder and become successful, but I believe my audience won't have the money to invest. It depends who your audience is. If your audience are students, then you sell to the students' parents. I'm in Dublin at the moment, and it's quite a wealthy area. And many of the parents pay loads for tutors of their students. Because they want their students to do well, because they have their status attached to the success of the students. So I wouldn't worry about that. There will be money in it. Next question. Josh says, I'm ready to coach. Let's go. Next question. What's your favorite zero to hero interview in the Skool games? Probably the one with Sean Hammond, S-E-A-N. That one was really good. It was funny. He thought he had to build a brand new business for the Skool games. So he literally went from scratch, built a brand new business and added like $30,000 a month of revenue to the business. Okay, the next question, how to make it work for other languages? The exact same. It's the exact same. The thing that changes is the language. People are people at the end of the day. Damdoc says, will there be a replay? Yes, there will be. Madge says, I'm already a paid member on Skool. How will I benefit? Well, you'll get this free cohort that will help you get more members in your group and figure out a new way to monetize those members through this new sales call to done for you service or one-on-one coaching. I honestly think that that's the thing that so many people are missing. If you can just learn to get on the phone with somebody and follow a script, you'll start making so much more money. It was like all of the one-on-one coaching that I did was sold on a sales call. And I think everyone has icky feelings around sales. Sales is service. If you learn to sell in an ethical way and you sell a service ethically, and if somebody doesn't get good results, you just refund them so that there's no ethical dilemmas, then you can make so much more money if you just learn that one skill, which we'll be teaching. Ali says, Andrew, what if we sell the one-on-one coaching inside a paid community? I mean, you can do. The problem is, chances are your paid community is going to be $10 a month, $20 a month. But maybe 1/10 of the people will join a paid community compared to a free community, which means that your real money maker, which is the done for you high ticket services or mid-ticket $500, $1,000 mark or one-on-one coaching, you lose out on so many people. So I would recommend, if you're going to be doing this model, start with free and then go to higher ticket services. Dejan says, should I still create content? This is a great question. You can still create content, yes, but figure out the monetization vehicle first. Then you can use content to drive people to the monetization vehicle. I love content as a way to get people interested in your monetization vehicle, but figure out the monetization first and then focus on content. The mistake that everybody makes is focused on content first and then figure out the monetization later. Next question, Maggie, what should I be putting in my group? We'll be covering all of it in a second. Or I mean, in the next cohort, or in this cohort. Sorry, I'm reading multiple questions at once. What should I be putting in my group? It's basically got to act as a lead magnet. So there has to be something in there that incentivizes people to join. So what you put in there depends on who it is that you're targeting. You want to put something in the group that people will be interested in joining the group to get. So for me, inside of my community for creators with 100,000 subscribers, the biggest sell for them was just to join a community that had other creators with 100,000 subscribers. I did have a course in there that was a monetization protocol, but it wasn't the main reason that people joined. In other niches, people will join because they want a lead magnet. You put something small in there that is enticing to them, that makes them want to join. And what that is depends on who it is that you're targeting. And you learn what to put in there by speaking with the people that are inside of your niche. Haddad says, it's really hard to choose between self-improvement and editing. That's understandable. You can probably mix the two together. The more niche you go, the better your group will be. Thembin Kausi, sorry if I mispronounced your name, said, when is the new feature dropping? It will be releasing soon, which is great. Because if you start the free community now and you focus on building it, as soon as the feature drops, you'll have monetization potential and you'll be able to capitalize it before anybody else does. That's why I wanted to just get this out as quickly as possible. Nobody knows about this yet. Nobody is doing this yet. And whenever you're the first mover to something, that's when you get the big competitive advantage. So by doing this now instead of later, you have the advantage to do this first before other people catch onto this. Next question. Would you recommend getting an LLC for any reason? No, not until you make money. I wouldn't worry about that. And also, would you recommend getting an LLC? No, just there's so many distractions. Just keep the main thing the main thing. This is not legal advice, I should say. So do whatever you want to do, get a lawyer, but I wouldn't, just stay focused. All right, Sangrash said how to promote the Skool group. We kind of talked about that. Multi says many skills, how to pick an offer. We will be covering that very soon in the next day or two. Just make sure you have notifications turned on and we'll be covering that. Sean says, I thought high ticket was dying. That's just not true. If you look at the majority of the people inside of the Skool games, and then you go to leaderboards, look, we can even open up some of the communities that are doing well at the moment, and you'll see the prices: 122 a month, 30 a month, 997 a month, 250 a month. I don't know what the price of that one is. Anyway, a lot of people are making a lot of money with high ticket. These blanket statements, like I thought high ticket was dead, it's like that's just not true. There's too much evidence that suggests otherwise. All right, next one. Can you sell one-time fee products? Yes, that's what this feature is. What is the advantage of this model over the community low-ticket approach? Right, well, there's a few advantages. One, a community, which is the group coaching, which I discussed. If I go up here, you said, what are the advantages with this model over a low-ticket community? Well, this is the low-ticket community. It's done with you and others, which is hard to sell. So the benefit of doing this is you're selling something that's easy to sell. And you said low ticket approach. To do low ticket really well, it's best if you have a big audience, because if you're charging $10 and you want to make $10,000, then you need 1,000 people inside of your group. But for beginners, it's easier to get 100 people in their group than 1,000 people in their group. So why not charge those 100 people more to make the same amount of money? If you charge $999, you only need 10 sales a month to get to $10,000 a month. All right. Coach Norm says the link says it is a wait list. If you go to greatonlinegame.com, it should take you to the Skool games. You will get taken to a page that looks like this. What you'll do is you'll click play for free. Then that's going to take you to a screen for you to create your Skool community. Go through that process, name your Skool community, whatever it is that you want to, and then you'll be in the Skool games and you'll have your own Skool community. So the link should be working. Next question, Mel Williams. I already have the community. I'm just trying to grow it and monetize. Nice. Well, then this is for you. Martin says, how much to manage a free group? I mean, as much as you want to. I would recommend you put time into the free group, because that's what turns into the paid members. So you have the free group, you nurture it, and then the free group turns into the paid members. So put time into nurturing those people, building relationships, and that will turn into money. Lucas says, do we need a website landing page outside of Skool? No, you do not. What you do is you use your about page. So whatever your URL is, you add about on the end, and there's a landing page directly within Skool. This is why I said everything that we're talking about, you can do within Skool. You don't need other tools to do this. It's all within Skool. I mean, maybe a Calendly link and a Zoom account would be beneficial, but they're both free. So it's very, very, very simple. What if what I do cannot be coached or done for you? Sharan asked that. What do you love to do, and how can that not be coached or done for you? I don't see a world where you can't coach someone to do the thing that you love to do or do it for them. But let me know. All right, next question. I just started this awesome group. I don't know what it's about yet, but I'm going to be charging for it soon. Okay, so I see that you're using Alex Hormozi's message here, which is a great way to get your first few members. So when you're inside of the Skool games, if you type in double your success, there is a great post in here from Alex Hormozi that shows you the quickest way for you to get your first few members. So he literally gives you copy and paste messages that he wants you to send to people. And this post right here shows you the quickest way to get the first few members in your group. And Victor is using this message, which is pretty cool. So check this out. This will be the quickest way for you to get the first few members inside of your group. Okay, let's move on. Gabriel, how much do you think I should charge for fitness coaching, specifically for getting rid of pain during exercise? $500 to $1,000 is a great start. Christopher says, I'm in the French market. Will this still work, or should I go to the English market? This will absolutely work in the French market. In fact, there'll be less competition in the French market because this online education space is always a few years behind in other markets outside of the English market. So not only will this work in the French market, it'll be better for you that you're in the French market. Okay. Next question. Tanzid says, how is this new? Starting Skool community has been around for some time. That is correct. But the new feature has not been released. It's brand new and it's coming soon. And it allows people to sell one-on-one coaching or done-for-you services, which isn't currently possible through Skool. Most people are selling paid Skool communities, which is that group coaching or course thing that I talked about previously, which is harder to sell. Okay, Robert. My question is regarding what subject to build a community around. I currently run an agency for solo communities, but I don't know they are on Skool. They don't have to be on Skool. They can come onto Skool. Skool's great. I mean, when Skool started and I launched the Synthesizer Skool, the vast majority of people had never used Skool before, but still the community was very, very effective because it's a good product, so people will use it. I think it's a great niche that you've mentioned there, an agency for solo communities, solo companies. Okay, can I still play the Skool games whilst not being in the US? Yes. Is video editing through Skool viable? Yes. Can you teach us how to grow our YouTube channel? I will be teaching you how to get members in your group, but we need to first figure out what your group should be about, getting a few members in there, figuring out what to sell. Once you've got that sorted, then we can focus on YouTube and direct people towards the monetization vehicle that you've built. So I will be covering YouTube growth at some point. Benjamin said, how are you promoting all of these groups? I will make a post and I will detail all of the different groups that people have promoted, and there's 10,000 people in there. Also, I will encourage people to join other people's groups. And that's a great way to get started. I actually did a post on that, which when you're inside of the Skool games, you can do this. It's called Promote Your Group. Use this post to promote your group. I basically said, use this post to promote your group, but before you comment, you have to join at least one other person's group. So if you put your group here, then other people will promote their own group and they'll join your group. So I'll be doing that to help you guys. How do I figure out what to make my group about? I will be covering that. Or if you want to just get started straight away, the best thing is Hormozi's post on this. If we go to members and we click Alex Hormozi and we do this, the Skool games, and then we do just posts. He created this post. What do I make my community about? That walks through the best framework I know for deciding what your community should be about. So if you're trying to figure out what your community should be about, read this post and implement it, and you'll end up with the solution. So this is the best post. What do I make my community about? All right. Joseph says, I'm about to get my first client as a freelance copywriter. Do you recommend starting a community now or after I see some results with it? Wait 1 second. Let me just put this up because I know some of you guys will still be looking for the link. I'm about to get my first client as a freelance copywriter. Do you recommend starting a community now or after I actually see some results with it? I would start the free Skool community now, because what you'll do is you'll get this person that you're doing the freelance copywriting with and you'll put him inside of the community. You'll do a lot of the delivery for him within the community, which means when it's time for you to get a second client, they'll join the community and there'll be value for them straight away. So if you put everyone that you're doing done for you services with inside of the community, then what that does is when you're ready to switch to a paid community, it's perfectly ready. And not only that, every single extra client you get makes the service more valuable for everybody else. My main concern, this is Kate, overwhelming my members by being in too many places, too many groups. One group, just have one group. And when you get traffic, you direct them to one place. Like, that's why I love this model. It's so simple. It's just traffic, direct them all to the Skool group, get all of them on a call and sell them one service. So one community, one funnel, one service. Super simple. Next question, Helene, how do you get clients one-on-one via the free group? And how much do you charge per session when you start? How do you get clients one-on-one via the free group? Right. We'll be covering this. You know what? Honestly, the best way to do this is, I think it's the 3 Ps. No, not the 3 Ps. D5, Hormozi, free to paid. Hormozi covered this. If I can't find it, I will just walk you through it now. 5 ways. Bear with me, guys. 5 ways. Oh, 5 videos. Yes, okay, here we go. So what you want to do is a few things. First of all, every single person that comes into your membership requests, you want to reach out to them and build a conversation with them. Just before this call, I let in everybody inside of this, and you'll see we have 18 membership requests. So what you do is you let them in and then you send them a message and you build the relationship. And then when it's ready, you get them on a call and then you sell them, which means every single person that joins your group, you can sell. Also, inside of a community, you have a pinned post that basically welcomes people to the community, explains what the community is about, and then has a link to get on a call with you for free. You can also have links here for people to get on a call with you. Like if we go to skool.com/monetize, which is my community, you'll see that we have free one-on-one call for support. This was a sales course. And then the other thing that you want to do that you can develop over time, I wouldn't recommend this in the beginning. I wouldn't recommend this in the beginning, just to be clear. Inside of the classroom, you basically have call to actions throughout for people to book a call with you. So inside of the classroom, you tell people to get on a call with you. So there's multiple different ways. And if we go back to the Skool games, which was where my original train of thought was going, Hormozi walks you through what you should put in the classroom with these 5 videos. And these are what the 5 videos should contain. So it's pretty simple. If people join your group, it's pretty simple to sell them. How much do you charge per session when you start? My advice to everybody during this cohort is going to be, I wouldn't charge for one session. I would charge for a transformation that may take place over a certain period of time. Maybe 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, and charge between $500 or $1,000 for that time period. This way, you're not charging for your time, you're charging for an outcome. Right? Okay, Sharan. Okay, Sharan is saying, what if what I love to do can't be coached or done for you? I don't see a reality where that's the case, but let me know, and I could be wrong. Will you cover which niches give you the option you use high ticket offers? Most niches. But I think the best way for you to pick the niche is to use Hormozi's framework that I talked about. Kalin says, why sell the one-on-one coaching one time and not in a higher ticket paid community? Because it's easier to sell one time than it is to sell paid, recurring. It's easier to sell one-off than it is to sell recurring, which is great for beginners. And also, this way, you only need to pay for one Skool community instead of 2 Skool communities. All right. Sanskar, how and which market to target? Check out the post by Hormozi that I just talked about. Like type in group about and it'll come up, or like community about. This one, boom. All right. Sorit says, I'm 14, and so I asked my dad for his card, but he says he doesn't trust the site. Lol, what do I do? I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea to be using your dad's card. I guess it is good because you asked him. I don't know, man. Like, show him this. Go to skool.com/leaderboards. Leaderboards. And show him the leaderboards, which just shows how much money people are making. Although maybe that's going to make him even more skeptical. I mean, Alex Hormozi, Sam Ovens, and myself are the people that are promoting this. There's very few people in this space that have a better reputation than Alex Hormozi, for example. So, like, out of all of the things on the internet, this is by far the most trusted. Okay, let's keep going. Hopefully you guys are finding value. Let me know if you are enjoying these Q&As and finding value from it. Should I be worried if there are almost no groups on Skool in my niche? This is from Roshni. This is either a great sign or it's a really bad sign. Normally, when there's lots of other groups around the same topic that you are creating, it's a good sign because it shows there's demand there. So if there's no groups, you've either found an untapped area or it's bad because people don't want what you have. So let me know what the group is. But really the best way is just to speak to the people in your niche and see if they want the niche, see if they want it. You know, speak to the people in the market. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Okay. Wanderlust says, what other costs does it take on average to get the free Skool community up and running? 0 other costs, literally 0 other costs. You don't need anything else. That's why I'm excited for this. Eamon says, how to become an expert in a niche? Well, you do what the niche does. So if you're doing video editing, you do video editing. If you're creating thumbnails, you create thumbnails, and you just do that a lot of times. And also, by being the group expert, people will come to you with their questions, so you'll need to figure them out to answer them. Oftentimes, the best way to teach, or oftentimes the best way to learn is to teach. So by teaching, you will learn and you'll become an expert. All right, let's keep going. How will the one-time payments feature work? This is from LMF with the forthcoming affiliates feature. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Melissa, how can I sell MRR subscriptions within my free school? You can't. You can sell this one-time feature, which is what I would recommend for you to do because it's easier to sell. If you want to sell MRR subscriptions, you need to create a second school community. Bettina says, how can I monetize without coaching or dealing with people in that way? Affiliates, MRR. Well, you can do services for people and then you don't have to speak with them if you're very introverted, although I'm introverted and I did one-on-one coaching and it worked well. You can also promote the school games. So inside of the school games, if you go to affiliates, then you can just get your link and you can copy it and then you can promote the school games. And that way, when somebody joins the school games, you get some commission. How would I go about finding clients for SMMA within a free school community? I've sort of discussed this already. The best thing to do is to go to that post that Hormozi created. Just type in double your success inside of the school games. That'll be the quickest way. The second quickest way is either the group strategy, creating content in your social media will cover all of this. Maria says, thanks, Andrew, for the content pathway. You mentioned YouTube videos need to be as long as they do, but as concise as possible. Some topics I cover in 5 minutes, but some I can be flexible to how long my video is, keeping it concise. In that case, what length would you recommend? As long as it needs to be. That's the point. Don't worry about length of a video. Make it as short as possible, but as long as it needs to be. So it's not about minutes of value. It's about how much value per minute. It's about density. That's what content is. So try make it as short as possible, but say everything you need to say. Don't worry about length. 2 minutes, fine. 2 hours, fine. Okay, how and what market to target? Hormozi post, type in community about, and there's a post from him that says, how do I decide what my community is about? Next one, how to convince other creators to create a course or coaching call for your community for reasonable charges. Well, make it beneficial for them. So find what their problems are. If they need more awareness, then you position them coming into your community as giving them more awareness. If they need more money, then just give them money. Kartik says, I just started this awesome group. I don't know what it's about yet. Okay. These people are using the same copy that Hormozi recommends inside of that post that I talked about. That's funny. Okay. Aiden says, low ticket communities have an immense churn and it's harder to convince people to join and upsell. It's super easy to get someone to join your free group. Exactly. Okay. Before charging for a one-on-one service or coaching, how do I know if people want to buy from me? How do I validate the offer so that people actually will buy? Should I do this before building landing pages and funnels? Start the free school community, get people in, speak to them, figure out what to sell, and then sell it to them. A free school community is the perfect place for you to figure out what to sell because you can see what people post about, you can see what people comment about, you can message people, you can get on calls with people, you speak with the market, and they will tell you what it is that they want. So free school community will tell you what to sell. Josh says, I've got a ton I could coach on. How do I find someone today to coach? Well, the best thing to do would be to follow the advice that Hormozi made in that post. It's called Double Your Success. Search that in the school games. It'll show you the quickest way to get the first few people in your group, speak with all of them, and sell them on your coaching. You can literally do this in a day. Like Josh Holiday has asked, I've got a ton I could coach on. How do I find someone today to coach? Follow those steps and you can make money today if you actually have a lot of stuff. Like if you just do the steps. So follow that post. I would also recommend making a post on all of your social medias. Like, why wouldn't you? You may as well. Even if you've only got a few hundred followers, you'll get a few people in there. If you invite everyone you know from your contacts, you make a post on social media, you'll probably find one person that you can coach today. Like for most people, this will take weeks or months, but you can do it today if you're ready to do it today. That's why I love this model. You can make money very quickly compared to creating content that takes months, years. All right, Sharita says, my link action taken. Nice work. Let's keep going. How to share, how to make the niche most effective. Again, that post from Hormozi. Type in community about, and you'll find it. Sanskar says, how and what market to target? Same thing. How and what market to target? I've already covered that. Okay, so it's looking like most of the questions have been answered. Let's keep going and make sure. What topic to build a community about? Same thing. Keep going. Do you still recommend having a free and paid group with one-time purchases? I would recommend free group with one-time purchase. Okay. Love, health, and money are the three top buckets. Yes. Health, wealth, and relationships. If your community is about one of those three things, it's easier to monetize. Okay, so John says, the assumption is that one, you are a beginner, and two, your customer is a beginner. But what if you're an expert selling to people who are not complete beginners? The exact same situation applies. With the YouTuber monetization community that I started, I had monetized my own audience, and these YouTubers have 100,000 plus subscribers, so they're not a beginner. This still works. Are you going to go through what to sell in later calls? Yep. But also that post from Hormozi tells you what your community should be about. That's a great place to start. And then you speak with the audience and the people inside of your community. You figure out what problems they have, and then you help them, and then you charge for helping them. It's honestly pretty simple. Nahuel says, how do you make sure once they join your community, people don't go AFK? Well, if your community is for them, for a specific group of people that they fit into, and it's to help them achieve a specific result that they want, they won't go AFK, because their desire to achieve the outcome keeps them inside of the group. Juanse says, I got to go. Thanks for your help, brother. See you later. Next question. Garrett says, regardless if you have a free community, members still need to pay $99 per month to even access communities. No. If you have a free Skool community, people can join your community for free. To start a Skool community, there's a 14-day free trial. Then it's $99 a month. And everybody who has a Skool community gets access to the Skool games, which is a mastermind with myself and Alex Hormozi. But to be clear, if you have a free community, people can join that community for free. Ali says, what are the first few steps for beginners after this call? Great question. Go to the Skool games, type in community about, read through this post, follow the action steps, then go to this post and read through this and execute. That's it. Those would be the two action items that I would recommend. If you go to the Skool games and you click on classroom, there's this course that Hormozi created. And there's also a checklist that I created that literally walks through step by step everything you need to do. And inside of this checklist, you'll see, oh, by the way, for anybody who is worrying about the $99 a month payment, this is the exercise that I'll run you guys through that makes Skool effectively free. Basically, if you look at what you've been spending, you probably spend more than $99 a month on stuff you do not need. It's if you print out your bank statement, or you get out your phone and you look through your credit card, or you look through at all the things that you buy, for most people, it's pretty simple to find $99 a month that you can save. And then maybe you cancel your Netflix and your Amazon Prime subscription, or maybe you go out for drinks less, maybe you eat out less. So you save $99 a month, you sacrifice eating out, but what you gain is the ability and the opportunity to build the future that you've always wanted, to build the future of going all in, doing what you love. Trade is well worth making. But anyway, what I'm saying is, if you go through this course, you'll see that at the bottom, there's these pinned posts that basically walk through the posts that I'm telling you to consume. So getting your first few members, this is W Successful Skool. So to simplify it, the one action item for everybody that's on this call to do after this is to come to the Skool games, click classroom, click open, watch the videos here, and read the posts below. And most importantly, take action on the posts below. That will teach you how to decide what your group is about, and it will get you your first few members inside of your community. So the one action item to do after this call is to come to classroom, click on instructions, watch these videos, read the posts, and take action. That will set you up to building a great business here. All right, what did you say about getting something if we get 3 members inside of the community? Yes, so anybody that just gets 3 people inside of their community unlocks these recordings. These are the mastermind recordings with myself, Alex Hormozi, and Sam Ovens, with all 10 of the winners of the Skool games. They all go to Vegas every month. We fly out and we have a mastermind to mastermind on how to grow a Skool community and monetize it. And these recordings, which are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, anybody that just gets 3 members inside of their community unlocks all of these recordings. So all you need to do is get 3 people inside of your community. They can be friends. They can be anyone, really. You unlock all of these recordings, and these are like detailed. Hey, look who it is. These are valuable. Okay. Madge says, I've already got a course. How could I use a new method? What you do is you get your free community. You put your course inside of the free community. This is the ultimate lead magnet. Now people will be really excited to join. And then when they're in the free community, you get on a call with them and you sell them. Viral Man says, will we get a recording of this session? Yes. Eva says, is the one-time payment limited to 999 USD? Yeah. Yes. Arish says, Andy, you are looking a lot like Eminem. Mom spaghetti. Okay, Mustafa says, what pain, frustrations, and transformation do I talk about in my content and DMs in the helping men quit porn niche? Speak to the people in the niche and they will tell you. My prediction is that these people may have low testosterone. These people may struggle with women. These people may struggle with confidence. Speak about those things. But the best thing to do is not to speak to me. It's to speak to your audience. Okay, let's keep going. Hope you guys are enjoying this. All right. Mel says, if I already have the community, I had turned on monetization, but the growth went to a halt. Should I turn that off until it grows? Yes, I would recommend free. See, this is the thing. You said you had a community, it was growing, you turned on monetization, the growth went to a halt. Selling a paid community is hard. That's what I've talked about. It's difficult. Free community, far easier, and then you build a relationship, build the expertise, and sell. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so Yog says, I'm here to earn my first $10. I don't have $99 to invest. How can I get Skool for free? What I would recommend doing is I would buy yourself time, I think it's called, unlimited. Read this post, take action. This is the most important thing with all of this. Just do what is said. If you can find $99 a month to save, do that. If you can't, which most people, especially if you're in a Western country, everyone can find $99 a month to save. If not, then what you can do if you can't afford the $99 a month is you can get your Skool affiliate link and promote that and try to get 3 people to sign up through your Skool affiliate link. Then you'll earn more than $100 a month from that. So you can get Skool for free. Or you earn 100, 120 or something, and you spend 100. So that's what I would do. For most people, you can find a way to save $99. If not, then yeah, promote the Skool games. John Flee says, why not just start with a scalable option? Takes longer to build, but if you're already an expert, probably the most explosive compounding profit compared to one-on-one. I strongly disagree. By doing one-on-one, you learn what to put in the course. Even if you're an expert on something, there's a difference between being an expert on something and being an expert coach. You need to learn the best way to transfer the information to people. So do one-on-one first. Yes, it's less scalable in the short run, but in the long run, it's more scalable. There's a quote from Paul Graham, who's the founder of Y Combinator. He says, all business problems can be solved by speaking to your customers more. I would speak to your customers as much as humanly possible. Kate says, this has been such a thought-provoking presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'll be in the next call. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. Sebastian says, what if after the 14-day free trial, you can't afford Skool? Again, I would say read that post from Hormozi on how to save $99. Most people will be able to do that. Make some sacrifices. For most people, make some sacrifices. It will be worth it. And then if you really can't, promote Skool until you can. Okay, John Felice says, I'd rather spend a year making no money building a scalable business and then have a huge return at the end than trade time for money and then have to create more time to build something scalable. You do you, John. That's not the way I would recommend it. That's not the way Paul Graham would recommend it. Do things that don't scale. Again, founder of Y Combinator, even more credibility than me. He recommends all businesses when they get started to do things that don't scale. It'll benefit you in the long run to speak to your customers. You'll get better at the craft. You will make more in the long run if you start with this. Daniel Hodges says, if you are just starting out, should you start niche or broad? Niche. Definitely. Okay. Let's keep going. There's still hundreds of people on this call. I appreciate you all for showing up, by the way. Okay. Hey, Andrew, what would you advise for feeling imposter syndrome for selling / teaching a skill set? I've been doing it for quite a long time, but I still feel that way. Honestly, the only way to overcome it is just to do it. Like they say, bravery isn't not feeling fear. It's acting in spite of the fear that you feel. So make progress and just act. It is really the only advice. Like I can tell you all of these things. I can say to you things like, when you get started, you are an imposter. And being an imposter is good because it shows you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Do you think that Jeff Bezos is an imposter of Amazon? Yes, he's an imposter because he's never ran a company that big before. So he's an imposter in that role. That's normal. That's good. It shows you're pushing yourself. All of these things are true. At the end of the day, you will still feel like an imposter and you will still have to act. Question, my community is paid. Should I make it free and wait for the new feature to drop? That would be my advice. What are the first few steps to complete for beginners? Go through the course, read the posts, take action. Okay. It looks as if what's happening is people are repeating the same questions multiple times. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do, because what I've been doing is I've been scrolling top down. I'm going to skip to the bottom of the questions. So I'm now reading all of the questions that you guys have just asked recently. Multi says, thank you, Andrew, the host. It's the buff guy. All right, I'm down to the bottom now. So if you have questions that still aren't answered, put it now. 12, 13, cool. Have you talked about doing some free coaching first to build experience and testimonials? Feel free. If you don't feel like an expert, by all means, start by coaching someone for free, get the testimonial, and then charge. I have no problem with doing that. That's what Hormozi did when he started with his personal training. He got people to donate money to charity because he didn't want to charge people. Mao says, how can we tackle the MRR with this one-off model? This is not monthly recurring revenue. This is once off. But the benefit of that is that it's much easier to sell. So as a beginner, it's easier to get started. Mario says, hey, Andrew, I sell SMMA services to businesses in Serbia. How do I apply this? Make a free community for businesses in Serbia. Reach out to people and say, hey, I have this free community that's designed to help businesses in Serbia grow through social media. And then when they're in the community, sell them. Ali says, Andrew, I've got an idea. What is it? Piyush says, when is the next call? It's this time next week. Go to skool.com/synthesizers and then click calendar, and you'll see when the next call is. Dran says, any tips for non-native English speakers selling to US market? You will just have to demonstrate authority in other ways because your accent will decrease your authority for most people. As brutal as that is, many Americans are like subtly racist. As bad as that sounds, it's true. Like if they had to pick between someone that has an American accent or not an American accent, most of them will probably pick the person that has the American accent. It sucks. Shouldn't be that way. But from my understanding, that is the way that it is. So you're just going to have to compensate through other forms of authority or sell to your own local market. Okay. Dream says, how to go from one client to multiple clients. Done for you service. You just do more people and work harder. Like I said, this is not going to be easy, but if you want to get to 10K a month, that isn't easy. Manu says, can this be used for B2B? Yes. YouTubers with 100,000 subscribers is B2B. How to convince people to get in whose shoes I've never been in, but I can definitely help. How to convince people to get in? I don't get your question, Ayush. I don't know. Piyush says next call date next week this time. Where did you have instructions for onboarding members? Where did you have instructions for onboarding members? Earlier in the call, I walked through how to do it. The other one is 5 videos where you'll see the 5 videos that Hormozi recommends to have in your group to upsell people. Sebastian says, I don't know how to pick my niche. Well, if you follow the action item, the one action item for this, which is to go through the classroom, instructions, watch these videos, read the posts, and take action, that problem will be solved. Because in designing your business, there's a video that explains how to solve this problem. And there's this post, which is incredible, that walks you through everything you need. Next one, what about Discord versus Skool? Wanderlust here. If somebody already has an established Discord community with paying members, the model I would recommend for everyone is free Skool community to done for you services or one-on-one coaching. That's what I would recommend. The next question, how do you promote Skool? You get your affiliate link and you post it in places where people may be interested. For example, you could go through, like think of an influencer whose audience may value Skool, and you go through their followers and you message them and you let them know about Skool. Or you can post it to your friends if you have people in your followers list that could be interested, or message it to your friends. Haddad says, how to find time while working a 9 to 5? Well, you either wake up early or you stay up late and you work on the weekends. It is what it is. It's going to be hard, but it will be worth it. Also, make sure that when you work on your business, it's actually focused work. Like most people spend a lot of time working, but the work that they do isn't focused. So, okay. Divine says the max one-time purchase is $9.99. Why can't we make the price higher? Skool has limited it to $9.99 for reasons mostly related to fraud. Natchuda, how do you keep a community alive after getting people in? The most simple thing is if it's a community that people want to be in, then you won't have this problem. And the way you make it a community that people want to be in is you make sure it's for a specific group of people and for a specific outcome that they want to achieve. And then they'll engage because they want to achieve the outcome. Martina, would you put an already planned high-ticket course fully in a free group? I would do that because then it's a lead magnet and more people will join. Josh Holiday says, invite script to my free Skool group. Well, inside of here, if you go to getting your first few members, and then you click on double your success, there is a script in this post that Hormozi recommends right here. If you already have a paid community, Can you charge one off with this new feature? Yes, you will be able to, but I would recommend free Skool community just so you can get more people interested in the paid. Brian says, I appreciate your time and effort, Andrew. Thank you. Okay, Philip says, how can I get money on Skool when not having an LLC? Skool doesn't pay out then, right? Oh, interesting. I don't know. Try to not have an LLC. This is not legal advice. And then if you need one, make one. I doubt it's too complicated. I'm not American, so I don't know for sure, but I doubt it's too complicated. But I know that I got started in business without a proper company. And then when I started making good money, I set up a proper company. Okay, Larry Taylor. I taught a 2-day weekend live workshop for 4 years. I'm going to put this into a Skool course and build from there. Cool. Okay. Pharaoh says personal name versus niche in community name. Your community name eventually should call out your niche or a benefit that your niche will achieve, not your personal name. But to get started, just make it your personal name so you can get the foot in the door. Matthias says, how to make this work as a video editor? Should I offer video editing services or coach other editors? Both can work. AJ says, will WeTube model help? I actually can't remember the WeTube model, but I know it involves sales calls to hire a ticket, which is what this is about. Daniel Medina says, I already have a free community and paid low ticket one that earns me 2K. How would you suggest I apply this? Well, first of all, congrats on the 2K a month. That's a great start. You can either start selling one-time services or done for you inside of the free community or the paid community. I already have a Discord, this is Harry, with 40 plus members. Is Skool still a better option than offering one-to-one coaching in the Discord? Yes, Skool's so good, especially compared to Discord. People will use it more, people will like it more. Now that you can accept payments within Skool, makes it super easy. Okay, Melissa. Can you offer a free community and later charge new members a monthly fee within the same community while keeping those who join before a certain date for free? Yes, that is the way Skool works by default. Does Skool take a commission on the sales? All payment processes take a commission. Stripe's commission, which is what most people use, is like 2.9% plus 30 cents. Patreon's is like 10% or 15%. WAP is like 10%. Skool takes 2.7%. So it's cheaper than Stripe. It's the cheapest option in terms of commission on sales. Maddie says, how do I convince my IG friends to join my mobile app development community if they are not developers? Well, you don't want them. If they're not your niche, you don't want them in. Either you make the community a place for people who are not web developers to become web developers, in which case they are relevant, or you don't advertise to the people that aren't your niche. Healthy Mind says, does this work for Twitter? Yes. Martin says, where are you at the moment? I am in Dublin. Okay, that's still a 99 question. Damn. Made my first sale this week by following your guidance and roadmap. Lucas, incredible work. Jaden says, hey, Andrew, it was amazing being on the call, but it's getting really late here. I'll see you next week. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up the call fairly soon. If you want to have your Skool community promoted in the Synthesizer School, go to greatonlinegame.com, start the free trial, put the link in the chat now before the call ends. You guys do what you want to do. I would highly recommend. I think this is the best model for beginners to get to $3,000 a month. So I would highly recommend taking action on this. But again, do whatever you feel is best to get you to your goals. Matisse says, I'm French and I failed 2 times in US market. Try selling to the French market. Jonas says thanks a bunch. Multi says thank you so much for your time. All right, looks like we'll wrap up fairly soon. If you guys have more questions, then I will answer them next week or in the Synthesizer School. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. This has been a blast. Super excited to teach you the nuts and the bolts of this model and to help you guys get results with this. Really appreciate your time. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for your time. Honestly, we've now gone over almost 2 hours, so I really appreciate it. You guys are all amazing. And let's make synthesizers amazing. This is Synthesizer School Season 2, which is amazing to see. Season 1 was quite the ride, and thanks especially to all of the OGs in Synthesizer School Season 1 who made it special. This is Synthesizer School Season 2, so I will see you next week. Add the call to your calendar. We'll be covering a lot of exciting stuff to help you get this up and running. Thank you so much for showing up. I will see you later.